Sometimes YouTube glitches. Oh, there it worked. Okay. Okay, so welcome to the live. I'm just waiting for everyone to turn up before we get going. Okay. While we're waiting, I'd love to know where you're from. I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. It's actually really sunny out right now, which is not good for this filming. Oh, it's frustrating. I'm going to have to get up and close the blinds because the sun's going to come through. Okay. Because it comes and hits me right in the face. So it's been really cloudy lately, so I haven't had to worry about that. Okay. Jakarta, Indonesia. Hello, Frida. Welcome. So where are you from? I'm here in Vancouver, Canada. Just waiting for everyone to turn up. Got kind of an announcement to make something negative that's going on. But I just have to bring it up. So I'll bring that up once I get more people in here. I might bring it up a few times on this live because I want to make it very clear what's going on Facebook. It's not good. Anyway, okay, I'm just waiting for everyone to turn up. I'd love Michigan. Hi, Michigan. Jamie from Jamie. Do you pronounce that Jame or Jamie? If it's got J-I-M-E. Okay. So I'm just waiting for everyone to turn up. Prince George. Oh, Katie. Hi, Katie. Beautiful here too. It looks -1 overnight. Ooh, that's cold. That's cold. Whereabouts in Canada, Patty? Oh, Jamie, how you said it. Jamie. Okay. That's right, isn't it? Jamie. Okay. I'm going to mention this a few times because people come and go, but this bothers me. We've tried to shut this person down. This person is pretending to be me, posting all my videos and taking money from parents on Facebook. The name is Joel, J-O-E-L, Mayo, M-A-O. What bothers me is this person is taking money. They're pretending they're me. People think my name is Joel. Yeah. So anyway, we've reported it hundreds of times because this person's taking money, basically like an imposter pretending to be me, which is fine, but don't take money from people if you know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, you might, if you could just, if you wouldn't mind, go on there and complain or post comments and say, this is not this is an imposter. Because we've tried to shut this person down. Facebook, this person's getting really good views, but yeah, it bothers me because they're asking for money from parents and their parents are thinking it's me. It's not. So the name again is Joel Mayo, J-O-E-L Mayo. Anyway, I mean, lots of people are out there, pretending to be me because I got a decent following now, especially on Instagram and TikTok. Those are my big platforms. And, but yeah, it's frustrating. I don't like that. I don't like that they're taking money from parents. They have a subscription or something. So anyway, okay, there you go. Let's get going. My name is Lisa. By the way, my name is Lisa, not the other name. Lisa and BratBusters. And check out the link above. You can see my free behavior board. Now, we've made a lot of changes this past week. The behavior board now has toddler basics on it too. So it's not just 3 and above. It's including toddlers now. You'll see if you go to that. That's completely free. We're going to be getting rid of all the mini courses, all the mini toddler courses, and we're just going to have the 2 boot camp courses. There's just too many things going on right now. And then, yeah, so that's going to end October 19th. The mini courses will be no more. They will be included in the toddler boot camp course. So that's the 2 big announcements is the behavior board now includes toddlers we include the toddler basics information, but they don't go on the behavior board. Okay. Yeah, it is sad, Patty, about that person. Like I said, the fact that they're, pretending to be me and taking money from people. That's what bothers me about it. Because I get emails all the time, from people who say, I paid for your course. Where is it? It's just scammers out there, right? So, and we've tried to shut this person down. So it's Joel Mayo. Go on there. Tell everyone it's an imposter. Yeah, they're taking money. We've tried to shut them down. Facebook isn't listening. That's okay. All righty. So let's get going with your questions. I'll do my best to answer them. And anything from toddler to teenager or anything in between. And Not so much baby stuff because I teach relationship and behavior. With babies, it's just meet their needs and meet their wants. I do get clients as coaching clients with babies too, but yeah, but on here, not so much of that. Okay, so I'm just waiting for your questions. Seeing my granddaughter this weekend. I haven't seen her in like a good month because I was all scheduled to go out and see her, and then, the mother got sick, then the baby got sick. It's one thing after another. So I'm going to be seeing her this weekend. I'm very excited. Very excited. She's just 9 months old, starting to crawl around in that. Okay, is there any type of positive reinforcement you feel works at home? I don't do positive reinforcement. I could go on about that. Okay, what I do is I play with kids. I connect with them. That is sort of the positive reinforcement. But if they do something good, I don't say, that was good. I just treat good behavior as a baseline. So if they do something good and you go, oh, good boy, good girl for doing that, I don't talk like that. Could you imagine if you did something good and your partner said, oh, good girl, good boy? It's you kind of say, what are you talking about, right? So yeah, I just treat good behavior as normal. I address bad behavior, then I play and I focus on the good kid, but I don't tend to use positive reinforcement. It's just not my style. I've never found it works. It's like praise. I've never found it gets good behavior. Positive reinforcement and praise may work a little bit sometimes, but yeah, it's not what works. It's consequences for bad behavior is what I do. And then I play with kids. I connect with them. Yeah. I'm not going to address the nose picking one. It's just kind of gross. I think people might not want to hear that. Did I make myself clear about that positive reinforcement? I don't know if I made it clear why it's so kind of useless. I get this whenever I get a child psychologist as a client. That's one of the things they'll argue. They'll say, oh, I really believe in positive reinforcement or the reward system. And I say, well, I use the reward chart as an example of why I don't like this. If you have a reward chart for good behavior, okay, up at home, it works in schools. It's not personal. Teaching is different. It has nothing to do with parenting. It's a completely different role. So if you use a reward chart at home, what you're saying to your child is you're normally rotten, but if you should happen to be good, there'll be a reward. See what I'm saying? You treat good behavior as if it's something to be celebrated. No, I don't do that. I teach bad behavior as something to be corrected, something to learn from, something to stop, but then I just treat them like they're good the rest of the time anyway. Okay. Desiree on YouTube. I don't know what that means. Anyway, okay, so I'm just reading, not Desiree's, I was reading someone else's. Okay, Desiree, hi Lisa, we're trying hard to become leaders. Our 3-year-olds will scream, talk, make high-pitched noises when we say there is a consequences. It is triggering for me. Is it too rude to wear earplugs? No, I would wear earplugs. They don't care that you're wearing earplugs. Yeah, they really don't care. So yeah, if they're screaming, you just lay down the law, and if they scream, then just put earplugs in and just go about your business. You know, don't be afraid of laying down the law. By the way, the behavior board now includes toddler basics on there. Toddlers cannot go on the behavior board. We've just redone the whole thing, or my daughter redid the whole thing. Well, I read it over, but anyway. So we have the behavior board. It's all different now. You'll see if you go in the link above. So it's the behavior board, and then it also has toddler basics at the bottom of it. So basically how you manage toddlers. You don't use the board. Also, October 19th, we'll be getting rid of all of our mini toddler courses. They will still be included in the big boot camp course, but we've got too many different things going on. We're just streamlining everything. So we're just going to have, as courses, we're just going to have the 2 boot camp courses, the toddler one, which has all the mini courses in it, and then the 3 to 12-year-old boot camp course. That's all we're going to have as of October 19th. So if you want one of the mini courses, now's the time to buy it. Also, the group live Q&A series with the bootcamp courses, both of them, is starting next Saturday, the 19th. So you might want to look into that. It's all in the link above. Everything's up there. What if my 5-year-old says he's bored? What should I do? Well, oh God, such a good story. I just told this story today or yesterday with a client. I can't remember which. Anyway, my son was, I think he was 4 or 5, and he'd been at a friend's house. And he obviously there would have been some reward for saying this at the friend's house. So he came home and he said to me, I'm bored. And I instantly went like this, are you? And he went, no, never mind. Because he knew that face is like, are you kidding me? So, because they had a good life, right? It's not my job to juggle for them and entertain them all the time. They knew that. So anyway, I said, oh, are you my precious angel? Are you bored? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So I took him in the laundry room, gave him a mop and a bucket, and then he was never bored again. 5 years later, my daughter did the exact same thing. She tried that I'm bored on me. And my son, instantly, I saw his head pop up from the family room because he remembered that. And I said, oh, is my precious angel bored? No, never mind. So yeah, it's not your job to entertain them all the time. Get a toy rotation system in place though, because oftentimes if there's too much stimulation around, too many toys everywhere, they do tend to get overwhelmed and they can't focus on anything. Plus, when I liked my kids to have stuff that started as nothing and they turned it into something, like something that they had to build or make. So like we had, like I loved a lot of Play-Doh and Lego and everything where they actually had to create and make something. But yeah, it's not your job to entertain them all the time. If they say I'm bored, it sort of says to me like, come on, entertain me. Yeah. That's not your job. But you do play with them. You make sure that you do mix it up and you have some balance there. You do play a lot with them. But then you say, okay, that was great. And then time it. If they're very demanding and they expect you to play with them all day long and entertain them all day long, then put a time limit on it. Say, we're going to be playing a game for 30 minutes. When this alarm goes, I'm going to go do some chores or whatever. Or I'm going to go read a book. So, yeah. Okay, this is Katie Cooper. Bedtime is going better. He whined for a minute while my hand was through the bar. Okay. What I said to that was when you're trying to get a kid to sleep, if they're in a crib, I just sort of leave them in the room, let them cry for 5 minutes. Then I go in, you're okay. And then I go out again going, you're okay. You just keep doing that every 5 minutes and then lengthen it out. But if they're really upset and you really don't want to do that, you can sit like falling asleep in a chair beside them and just give them your hand through the bars of the crib, right? So just pretend you're falling asleep and don't talk to them or anything. So Katie said it's going better. He whined for a minute while my hand was through the bar. It took him over an hour to fall asleep, but he wasn't crying. Sore from being on the floor beside the crib, though. Get a chair, get a comfortable chair. Yeah, so this stuff, it just usually works. You just gotta go through it. Everyone wants, well, how do we avoid the scene? How do we just get the rainbow? And I say, well, is there ever a rainbow without a storm or without some rain? You got to be willing to go through the storm to get to the rain. Their fits, scenes, meltdowns, and tantrums, and their whining and complaining is their lesson. That is them learning that you're in charge, that things are changing. They got to go to bed. They got to go to school. They got to clean up their room. They got, that's their adjusting to this. So don't worry about that. Westfield in, what the heck is in? What's in? What state is Idaho, Iowa? What is Indiana? Yeah, it must be Indiana. Okay. Hi, Maria. I just didn't know where in was. Took me a minute. Okay. Oh, Indiana. Took me a minute, didn't it? Okay. And check out the link above. The behavior board's all changed. We've changed it all. It's the same basics, but we've just added to it. There's a frequently asked questions section. Also, the toddler basics are now in there too. So it's just all free. It's like the behavior board and then the toddler basics. It's the free just to get you started with all this stuff. But you've got to sign into you got to get a Podia account where all my courses are. It's just the way it's all lined up. It's just, I don't know. Okay, 2-year-old has been having tantrums about sitting down to eat. She will arch her back and refuse to sit and cries hysterically. We don't know how to make her sit without wrestling her and waiting for her to calm down to eat. So let me see now, just a sec. About sitting down to eat, she will arch her back and refuse to sit. Well, is she sitting in a high chair? I think my kids are still in a high chair at that age. I'm just trying to think if she's in a high chair or not. Yeah, I just stand there and hold them till they sit down. Or else I'd just say, okay, off you go. And then I'd eat without her. But make sure she's not snacking too much too, because a lot of kids, you feed them too much during the day and then at dinner time, they don't want to eat because they've been eating too much. A lot of times parents think that toddlers need more than they need. I used to. I thought, oh my God, they're not eating much. And then they'd go through a growth spurt and eat like hogs. So, maybe she's already full. That could be part of it. But yeah, if she sits and cries, I don't give her what she wants at that point. I either say, okay, go away then, or go and do whatever you want, or I might try and hold her in the high chair. Either way, I don't know which would be appropriate in your situation, but I would do either of those. But I wouldn't say something like this. Well, what do you want? I don't talk like that when they've gone crazy at all. At all. She's in a high chair. Yeah, I would just strap her in. And then I would hold the high chair so she can't rock it over. Yeah, just hold her until she's finished. Don't look at her. Don't talk to her. That's a tantrum. Just look away. But don't give her any food until she's finished tantruming. But make sure you haven't overfed her during the day too. You want them to come to the table hungry. Do you give money for above and beyond tasks in that positive? Is that positive reinforcement or no? No, that's giving money for a job. You're paying them for an extra job. I don't pay for chores because that's just, you live here, you contribute. But if they detail your car, mow the lawn, I would pay extra for that. That's sort of above and beyond. It's not positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement is if they do something good and you go, well, good job, good, well done. I don't talk like that. I mean, I would say, oh, that looks great, but I don't do that. Positive reinforcement doesn't get you good behavior. Basically when parents are asking that, they're saying they're doing it to get good behavior. That's how that phrase is usually used. So do we use positive reinforcement to get good behavior? No, but you can say that was a great job mowing the lawn. Here's $5. That's different. Very different. But with behavior, don't use positive reinforcement with behavior, trying to get them out of bad behavior. Yeah. And don't use it with behavior. By money, I mean allowance. No, allowance is separate. I don't pay for chores, and then allowance is they just get a certain amount each week. I have lots of videos on allowance. You can look that up. Just look up allowance. Or you can go in Instagram or TikTok if you can't figure it out here on Facebook. I don't know how to work it on Facebook. Something that we're trying to get rid of is the person named Joel Mayo on here on Facebook, who is an imposter pretending to be me and taking money from parents. We've tried to get rid of this person, but Facebook doesn't care because they're getting really good views. They've got like over 50,000 followers thinking that my name is Joel Mayo. So anyway, if you wouldn't mind checking that out and telling people this is not Joel Mayo, this is Lisa Bunnage at BratBusters, because it bothers me that this person is taking money from parents. That's what bothers me about it. They're an imposter. And, we've tried hundreds of times to shut them down, but it just bothers me. I do get emails from time to time. We gave you money for a course and we didn't get the course. Yeah, you didn't give me money. You gave someone like that money. There's a lot of imposters out there. It's just scam artists, right? It's just the way it is. But yeah, look it up. Everyone thinks my name is Joel. Oh, good video, Joel. I like your hair, Joel. I'm not Joel. I'm Lisa. Anyway, so just if you wouldn't mind, it just bothers me that they're stealing money from people. Okay, for consistent corrective actions for 2-year-old, how do you take the toy object away without ripping it out of their hands? You pry their fingers off of it. You got to forcefully make things happen. They're only 2 years old. You have to force this stuff. Don't go like that, though. You just pry their fingers and, you got to get it away from them. You have to win these battles. If you don't win these battles, they're in charge, and they know it. Yeah, I'd wrestle with her to get it out of her hand. Absolutely, 100%. You got to win those battles. Because he said, I feel like I'm wrestling with her. Yeah. Do it as quick as possible, but we give marbles for above and beyond tasks, and then when the jar is filled, they can go to the movies, special places. Yeah, I wouldn't give it for daily chores, like make your bed and that, but if they do something above and beyond, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. Sorry, I'm just scrolling here. A 4-year-old being cheeky. When you say, what would you like to wear to school today? Sorry, the sun's hitting me weird here. I might have to close that. By saying, stop it, mommy. Is that something to address, and how? Why are you asking them what they want to wear? Why don't you just say, here's your clothes for today? You're kind of inviting that. They're testing you out, by the way. Oh, you don't address rude behavior. Rude behavior is a sign that they don't respect you. That's all. You got to work on your leadership skills. That's everything I teach here. Check out the link above. I've got a whole bunch of stuff. I've got the free behavior board, the courses, and coaching. You probably don't need coaching just for that. But yeah, rude behavior is a tell. It means they don't respect you because you're not a leader. That's all that is. What do you want to wear today? No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say, here's your clothes. Does a 4-year-old need to be choosing their outfits, or the sun's hitting me really weird? I might have to close those blinds. Oops. Sometimes people will write stuff and I wonder, are they just having me on here? Like, I don't even know what they're talking about. So can I tell them to clean the house, vacuum the carpet, etc. when he says he's bored? Okay, now when I did that with my kids, when they said they were bored, they only tried it once, each one of them separately. And they said they were bored. I said, oh, is my precious angel bored? They were backing up so fast. They knew I was going to come up with something. So I took them in the laundry room, gave them a mop and a bucket. And I said, there you go. I already had respect. Okay. It works better if you already have respect. If they say they're bored, it's kind of entertain me. It's kind of it's a demand, but are you playing with them? Do they have like creative stuff to do? Like my kids had enough to do, and it's okay that they're bored sometimes. I don't have a problem with that. I would say, yeah, I get bored sometimes too. Don't bug me about it. Like, so long as you're meeting their needs and managing their wants. Like if you're not meeting their needs and they don't have anything creative to do and they live in like a cluttered area, like if their playroom is cluttered or whatever, that's not fair. That overwhelms them and they are bored because it's overstimulating. So do a toy rotation system so they only have a few toys out at any given time. Have creative stuff like Play-Doh and blocks and stuff that they can build and color it, like artwork and all that kind of stuff, or stuff maybe they can build a fort. My kids did a lot of forts over the dining room table. They just put blankets over there and then put pillows underneath, and that was their fort. So yeah, get creative. Look it up. Creative ideas that you can DIY, creative ideas at home. So, but it's not your job to entertain your children 24/7. Sometimes kids use this as a control thing. I'm bored. Like, is it, oh, sorry, I have to juggle for you now. Yeah, I just say, well, you can go mop the floor then. So, but I was already a leader, so my kids didn't give me any cheap. They just went, oops, sorry, Mom. If they're having a tantrum and bump their head and want a kiss, do I ignore it? Well, you try to avoid, like if they're banging their heads around and that, you just pick them up and prevent that. But no, I wouldn't kiss their head until they finish the tantrum. Nope, I just wouldn't. They'll survive. Their bump is not going to be any better for being kissed. So you're actually, when you do that, you're kind of rewarding the tantrum. You see, the big scene is what you're trying to avoid. Like you're trying to not reward the big scene. Anything that happens other than that, just try and keep them safe. Like just pick them up or physically restrain them from banging their heads on stuff. Does it ever make you uncomfortable to practice leadership when you're watching a friend's kid? Like, is it okay to practice what you teach on them since they are in my home with my kids? Oh, never, unless you've got those kids on your own. Like if the other parent is around, there's no way I would say anything to those kids. None of my business. But if I'm babysitting, Lisa's rules or grandma's rules. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. And yeah, I don't take any crap, but if the parents are around, none of my business. None of my business. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. She might pretend to get hurt just to get attention. That's right. You're kind of still rewarding the tantrum. Okay, I'm just going to announce this again. It's just so frustrating. We've been trying to shut this person down. They're pretending to be me on Facebook and they're taking money off parents and they're doing very well doing it. It's really frustrating. People seem to think that my name is Joel Mayo, Joel Mayo, M-A-O. We've tried to shut them down. Maybe you could comment. This is not Joel Mayo. This is Lisa Bunnage at BratBusters. This person is, stealing her stuff. I don't mind if people share my stuff, but I don't like it when they pretend to be me and take money from parents. So it happens a lot, unfortunately, but this person's doing it. They're gaining speed doing it. They're doing very well doing it, which is, my videos are what is driving their success. But the fact that they're taking money, that's what's bothering me. So the name is Joel Mayo. It's a fake account on Facebook here, and they're stealing money from parents, pretending to be me. So if you wouldn't mind commenting or whatever, reporting them. I know I'm asking something from you. I don't usually like doing that, but it bothers me that they're stealing money from parents, pretending to be me. I get this a lot. It's because I got a big following now, and it just happens way too much. It's frustrating as heck. I just don't understand people like that. I just don't get it. I don't get being nasty. I just don't understand stealing and that. It's just so, you can just imagine how they were raised, right? Okay. I'm going to go close those blinds. It's just getting too much. Sorry. It's been cloudy lately, so that hasn't been happening. Okay. How can I get 3-year-olds to eat what I make for dinner? Well, you got to make something that they're going to eat. Liver and onions, maybe not. So now there's a different way. Okay, now I can't really talk about nutrition because I'm not a nutritionist or anything, but I did cook around my kids' taste buds, but I made everything from scratch. So it was all healthy. So like they love pizza, but I made the dough, I made the sauce, I pureed spinach and put it in the sauce, and the dough was full of healthy stuff too. I hid healthy stuff in everything. So yeah, I didn't ever want them to go, because I remember what it felt like to have really sensitive taste buds as a child. I did eat everything, actually. I wasn't fussy at all, but I didn't like liver and onions, but Mom found that if I had HP sauce on it, I didn't mind it. So I would eat that. But yeah, I did cook around what my kids like to eat. So, but like I said, I cooked from scratch, and they never had any junk food. There was no junk food in our house. So they weren't waiting for the ice cream in the freezer because there was none, and they knew it. But there was probably homemade cookies or something, but my homemade cookies were super healthy. So, oh, good. Thank you for your boot camp class. It's changed our lives with my 4-year-old. Oh, that's so sweet, Paige. Thanks so much for that. That's my boot camp course, 3 to 12 years old. I have a toddler one also, and we're going to be getting rid of all the mini courses for toddlers. We just got too much going on. It's too confusing. So all those courses will be in they already are bundled up in the boot camp course, but we're just getting rid of them individually. So if you want to buy one of the mini toddler courses, now's the time to do it. They will end next Saturday, the 19th. That's when, and it's also when the boot camp group live Q&As start. That's all listed above. Just look at the link above. You'll see we've got a lot going on right now. And thanks so much for your support with the podcast. We get a lot of nice messages about that. My daughter and I are doing it together. Imagine that, working with your daughter in a parenting course. Like how, parenting business. Okay, what's the boot camp? The boot camp course, 3 to 12 years old, it teaches you how to be a leader within 5 weeks. You give respect to get it, how to connect with your kids, mostly about how to connect with them. And so that they respect you and they respect themselves and they have high self-esteem. Discipline's a small part of it, yes. So we have one for 3 to 12-year-olds and then one for under 3. And I haven't got a teenage one yet, but that hopefully next year we'll get around to that. We've been working really hard on the podcast. So we can't do it all right away. My daughter's only been working with me full time for 3 months, not quite 3 months. And we've changed a lot. She is extremely driven. She does all the planning for the business. And she does all the marketing and all that stuff. So anything behind the scenes is her. And it's just, I say, like in the business, she's like driving the tractor and I'm in the wagon behind just trying to keep up to her. She's very young, very driven, very business, I'm just trying to keep up. Okay, where can we find the podcast? Just look at the link above, but it's everywhere. It's on Apple, Amazon. Where else? Apple, Amazon, Spotify. Is that? Yeah, Spotify. It's on all the major stuff. And it's called BratBusters Parenting, but it's all linked above. Everything I have is linked in the description of my bio, wherever that is. Anyway, I got to go over to Instagram now. Check out the link above for all my courses, coaching, and the podcast. Everything there. And the free behavior board now has a toddler section in it. So it's all brand new. We just did it today. So you might want to check that out. You have to sign up. It's all above. Anyway, I'm going over to Instagram now. Remember, check out Joel Mayo, who is pretending to be me and stealing money from people pretending to be me here on Facebook. Facebook isn't listening to us. We're trying to shut this person down. My name is not Joel Mayo. That is not me. That's an imposter. And they're taking money from parents. So we're trying to shut this person down right now, but we'll just have to probably give up if Facebook never does it. And then they'll just turn up somewhere else pretending to be me again. But anyway, it bothers me when they steal money from parents. I'm going over to Instagram. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy parenting. Yeah, there's a lot of buttons to push. Okay. So I'm just waiting for everyone to turn up. Everyone turns up really fast on Instagram. They all turn up in one big clump. It's really weird. Usually takes 10 or 15 seconds. It's the only place they do that. We only got 11 people here on YouTube. YouTube's my smallest platform. It's not social media. It's a search engine. So it's the best place to watch these lives because I have the fewest people on there. So I'm more likely to see your questions there. On these bigger platforms, I just scroll through and just because I want to make sure people are still here when I answer. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me. Huge fan. Thanks for all your advice. Oh, thanks so much for that. Do you know, I didn't know this. I'm not very bright sometimes, that the word fan is short for fanatic. It's not a very flattering word, is it? I just heard that the other day. I thought, fan is short for fanatic. But yeah, I don't think you're a fanatic for me, but I understand it's just gitchy. But I didn't know that was the connotation. Okay. And I get recognized out in public pretty much every day. And it's quite funny because I always feel, whenever I feel exposed and vulnerable, it's the weirdest thing. You know why? Because I feel like people know something about me and I don't know anything about them. So I feel kind of naked when, oh, hi, you're from, YouTube or wherever. And and I feel kind of naked, but no one knows anything about my personal life. That's still private. But I still feel like when they run into me out in public, they know a lot more about me than I do about them. It kind of feels unfair. I can't quite explain it. That's weird. I used to get recognized a lot when I did a lot of TV and radio back in the day. But it's interesting because back then, I was like the parenting expert, like in the newspaper and TV and radio kind of thing. And people would always ask me parenting questions. Nobody does anymore. When they come up to me, they really respect my time. No one does that anymore. It's interesting. But this is like 20 years ago. It used to happen. Do you think there are some kids your technique doesn't work on? I think a bad thing about, I don't discuss that. Well, because I give respect to get it. Now, I've worked with hundreds of kids and I've never not got respect from one of them. So teenagers, 2-year-olds, 8-year-olds, because I give respect to get it. And my weapon with kids, I always said this, my weapon with kids is fun. I use fun and humor as leverage to get respect when I'm working with kids because I got no other leverage. So if they act out, and let's say they're 7 years old and I'm working with them and they act out, I say, I didn't like that. I'm going to go quiet now for 30 whole seconds. And then they say, sorry, Lisa. So, 20 more seconds. And then they wouldn't do it again because they like fun Lisa. You can't do that at home. It's different. I don't teach that. I used to mentor kids. I don't teach that. That's different because you got other stuff. You can't do that all day long. Okay, I didn't like that. 30 seconds. It's not practical to do at home. But yeah, I do find my methods tend to work on every kid I've ever worked with, which is hundreds. I didn't do this so much with my own kids because I got respect when they were tiny and kind of sailed right through. I maintained respect. Okay. But I teach parents how to get it. It's hard work. Maintaining it's easy. Getting respect is hard work. I earned it. You got to work for that. But I earned it when they were little. So I just kind of sailed through. But yeah, I do find it works in everyone. Everyone wants to be respected. Everyone and their kids, their love language is fun. And I know how to have fun with kids in their world, in their age bracket. Anyway, I haven't even introduced myself yet. Anyway, my name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on the link above, you'll see my free behavior board, which now includes toddler information. So that's the free behavior board. We just did it today. It's brand new. It's the same behavior board, but we've just, we've added to it and everything. And then we've also included a little toddler section. So we don't have 2 behavior boards like we were doing. We just did that a couple of days ago. Now we've just amalgamated it into 1 behavior board with a toddler section. What do we call it? Toddler basics. So we call it the behavior board plus toddler basics at the bottom of it. That, and then we've got all the courses, the boot camp courses, one for toddlers, under 3, and then or 16 months to 35 months. And then we've got the child one, 3 to 12 years old. We're going to be getting rid of all the mini courses for toddlers. They're all included in the toddler boot camp course anyway. Those are the big courses, the boot camps. Okay, they teach you how to get respect as a leader. So for 2 different ages. But we're going to, as of the 19th of October, all those mini courses will not be sold separately. They'll just be included in the big boot camp course. So just so you know, if you want one of those mini ones, now's the time to get it. Also, they'll be disappearing the same day that our group live Q&A sessions start. That's if you're in a boot camp course, you can turn up on Zoom every Saturday for 6 weeks, and we'll be answering your questions there, okay? We've done it before. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, hope lots of people turn up. The more, the merrier. Is that it? Oh, yeah, and you can look into coaching. I do have a wait list. I got to get some invoices done today because I've been trying to get to them the last couple of days. I just haven't busy. But anyway, I will get to some today. I am sending out some invoices today. I don't know how many. So there is a wait list for coaching, but I like to mix up the ages. That's one-on-one, video calls with me if you're interested in that. What do you do when your 18-month-old doesn't want to get in the car seat and stiffens up? That's what my friends and I used to call it the karate chop. All our kids seem to go through that. So what you do is you just put them on top of the car seat, stiff as a board, and you just hold them there. As soon as they take a breath and weaken, you fold them in the middle and clip, get them clipped in. We used to call it the karate chop. You're not karate chopping them, but you got your hands on their hips, like right where they fold, and you're just waiting. Don't look at them and don't talk to them. That just is fuel to the fire. So just wait. You're just waiting. As soon as they just fold them in, clip them, and then just drive off. I don't talk to kids when they're acting like that. There's no point. Any attention is a reward, so don't reward that kind of behavior. I just ignore them. Kids learn really quickly when they act like a lunatic. I'm not giving them any attention whatsoever, and they want attention, right? You deal with bad behavior, but not that kind of stuff, not the crazy, the tantrums and that. That's not bad behavior. That's a loss of emotional control at not getting their own way. It's different. So I'm scrolling ahead to make sure people are here when I answer their question, because I do get a fair amount of questions here. Whoops, geez, that was a lot. What is neurodivergent? You look it up yourself. I don't talk like that. I don't use those big words because I'm kid taught. So I never use those big words around kids. I just sort of, you know what I mean? Do you get where I'm going with that? Like I never cared about diagnoses with children. I just treated the personality, not the diagnosis. So I worked with all the kids I had. They all had alphabet. I used to call them alphabet kids. They all had acronyms after their name. Hi, my name's Johnny. I'm ADHD, WXYZ. I used to say, oh, you're an alphabet kid. And they'd laugh. Like, I don't do that. I treat the person, not the diagnosis. So yeah, if you want to know stuff like that, you look it up. Not my thing. I never once opened up a file. I was given a lot of files to review when I was given a kid, especially the teenagers I worked with. And I've given this big, huge files. Oh, you might want to review this so you know what you're working with. I never opened one of them. I'm connecting with the person, right? Plus, I'll bet you any money that the kid that I got, by the time I got their respect, was very different from what was in that file, okay? So I know how to get the best out of kids. That's what I teach. Now, you get the best out of kids by increasing their self-esteem and making them like themselves. That's how you get the best out of kids. When their self-esteem is low and they don't like themselves because you're always talking about their bad behavior, you're going to keep getting bad behavior. Where you put your energy, where you put your focus is what grows. If you're focused on their bad behavior, you're going to get more of it, 100% guaranteed. Okay? Sorry. Just kind of waiting to hear from a client, so I thought maybe that was them. It wasn't them. I deal with crisis work too, so I'm always on edge when I got a crisis. It's usually teen stuff. I'm always like, yeah. That's how I started my business. I started doing teen crisis work. And I know I talked to other people who said, why would you do that? Because a lot of responsibility, but I worked with those kids. So yeah, it's my favorite thing to do is the crisis work, because that's where you get the biggest results, right? 3-year-old keeps getting written up at school for saying F you. Okay, so he's 3 years old. Say no bad words on the behavior board. The behavior board, we just rehashed that whole thing today. It's the same stuff, but we've just redone it, formatted it, and put extra information in there. It also includes toddler basics. So you'll see it's all different now. So check it out. It's free and it's above. And just put down no bad words as that child's rule. And then when they come home, the teacher will say, by the way, he said F you again. So you say, okay, when you get home, okay, let's go to the board. Okay, so you used a bad word. That's how you do it. You don't say that was bad, that was naughty. I don't talk like that. You just say, so let's go to the behavior board. Remember, the rule is no bad words. So the teacher said you used a bad word at school, so here's the consequence. There's so many different ways you can do that. But yeah, that's the basics of it. There's not different ways, but then you can follow it up with different things. Like if they said F you to the teacher, I might make them write out or draw a picture for the teacher. How old was that kid? 3. I would make them draw a picture for the teacher. Don't have them say, I'm sorry. Don't ask me to explain that. Actions speak louder than words anyway. If they draw a picture and of the teacher, a nice picture for the teacher, have them do something like that as a consequence. The words I'm sorry, I've never heard that they do anything. Say you're sorry, and then they hit again. But they hit again. They said they were sorry. Yeah, the words I'm sorry doesn't mean anything. I don't care about them with adults either. I'm sorry. Yeah, what are you going to do? Where's the amends? How are you going to make it up to me? Like, the word sorry means nothing to me. Nothing. It's so overused. Sorry, I killed your whole family. I said I was sorry. You're not very forgiving. It's so overused. Where's the amends? Sorry, I used a bad word. Here's a picture I drew for you. There's a difference. You replace a bad behavior with a good action, you replace, if they do something bad, like use a bad word, have them do a positive action to make it up. If they won't do that, then you resort to check out the behavior board. It explains all that. Okay, and we just redid the whole behavior board. It's the same information, but a lot more stuff put in there. And it includes the toddler basics. It's all in the same thing now. You'll see it's up. It's all been changed as of today. Oh, and thanks for supporting our podcast. My daughter and I are doing it together. It's BratBusters Parenting, and it's all the platforms. But yeah, it's going way better than we expected. Because, stuff's hard to grow, right? You start something and it's hard to grow. We've already got a decent size audience, which helps. But still, we're getting really good results from this, the podcast. And I'm doing it with my daughter. The podcast is my favorite. No, coaching's always my favorite thing. But my second favorite thing is the podcast, because I'm doing it with my daughter. She's doing it with me. So what a dream, for a mother she's my business partner. So we work together. So, and then she agreed to do the podcast with me because she doesn't like being in front of the camera. That's my thing. Five-year-old gets frustrated over little things, has really big reactions. How to help her manage those frustrations? I don't know where it's coming from. Is she a sore loser? Do you focus more on winning rather than just trying? That could be it. It could be the fact that she sees failing as a bad thing. I don't. I see it as, way to give a good try. Like, I never focused on winning with my kids, ever. I'd say, good try. You played that so well. My mom did that. She always bragged about what great sports my brother and I were. Oh, you're such good sports. You're just what? And I never understood what big deal that was. We play hard to win, but we don't care if we win. Does that make any sense? Like, we're very good losers. But because my mom never focused on the winner. She always said it's better to do your best and lose or win by luck. She goes, I'd always rather do my best and lose. There's no shame in losing. So I'm wondering if maybe that's part of it. Is it adding to it? Is doing well? Like, you'll get it next time. I don't talk like that. You'll get it next time, as if that's the goal. Say, good try. You see, yeah, I didn't explain that very well. So let's say your kid tries something and they failed at it. It didn't work. Then you say, okay, try again. You'll get it next time. you watch how you say that, because you don't want to focus on you got to get it. Just say, yeah, but wasn't that fun trying? I focus more on the journey rather than the destination. Plus, talk about how you're not, oh, I tried it too. I couldn't do it either. So, talk about it's okay not to be able to be good at stuff. Because the only reason I brought that up is that child's 5. If they were 2, they're just going to get frustrated anyway. They're just crazy at 2. Okay, I love your advice. This is Makeup by Fiona B. I have a 7-year-old who is unmotivated at school, doesn't seem to want to push himself. He's very shy, which is sad, as I know he's capable of more. 7-year-old who's unmotivated at school. You can't force someone to be motivated, but you can force kids to just do what you got to do. Like my kids learn, you got to do what you need to do before you can do what you want to do. So like they couldn't do anything. I did give them downtime after school because they're in school for 6 hours. They'd come home, go in the pool, or we go out on the bikes or something or whatever. But then they knew there's no way that there'd be any video games played after dinner until they did their homework. So yeah, you don't try and motivate them. You just say, you just got to do it. You just teach them how to do the hard stuff. That's a really good lesson to learn. Both my kids are extremely disciplined, very hard workers, because I just taught them. Yeah, I didn't try and make everything fun. I didn't try and motivate them. I just said, yeah, sometimes you got to do crappy stuff. No big deal. Just get it done. Then you can go and have fun. Earn the fun. So they didn't think anything of it. They just did. I don't remember ever telling my kids to get ready for school, do their homework, or go to bed. They just knew, just do it. I have no memory of ever telling them to do that, any of it. So yeah, they just learned you got to do the hard stuff sometimes. And that's okay. They were proud of it. Give them something to be proud of. There's no pride in doing fun stuff. There's pride in doing hard stuff. So yeah, don't try and motivate them. Just say, yeah, I didn't like doing a lot of stuff at school, but you just got to do it. And then when you say he's very shy, role play with that. Social skills, I role play. Bullying, shyness, social skills. You role play. Pretend you're him and he's someone else. And the way that you make friends, tell them this, the way that you make friends is you ask them questions about themselves. So don't do inane stuff like, what's your name and where were you born? And just say, oh, what game do you like to play? Whatever your child is into, have them ask questions, see if they have something in common. Oh, do you like playing video games? Yeah, what's your favorite game? So teach your child, and you do role playing, because the more you role play and act it out, the more likely he is to do it when he's out, because he's already done it, right? That's why we rehearse when we're actors. I'm not an actor, but you know what I mean. We rehearse because once we've done it, it comes out once you get nervous. So once you're on stage in front of an audience, you've already rehearsed it, so it comes out easier. So yeah, role play the social stuff. So I'm scrolling ahead to make sure you're still here, because so many questions come in. I just want to make sure when I do answer a question that the parents, because people come and go, like I might only have 100 people on here at any given time, but then afterwards I'll look and there's been 2,000 people coming and going. It's just the way people are. They don't sit and watch the whole thing off. Very often they don't. So they're coming. That's why I keep scrolling. Okay. I can't answer all the questions. It's just too many. Okay. By the way, I just want to remind you, check out the link above, because we just rehashed our whole behavior board. It's all the same information, but we've added to it. So we've got the behavior board, and we added toddler basics. So just toddler, just basic stuff for toddlers, because they can't go on the behavior board till they're 3. So it's basically covering all ages about 16 months and up now, that free behavior board. And then check out the boot camp courses. I have 2 of them, one for toddlers, one for 3 to 12-year-olds. And the toddler mini courses, the little ones, like potty training and all that, they will be gone as of next Saturday, the 19th. We'll be getting rid of all those. It's just too much stuff going on. It's too confusing. So even for us, so I can imagine if you're going on there going, what the heck? So we're just going to have the only courses we're going to have as of next Saturday, the 19th, is just the 2 boot camp courses, toddlers and older kids. And that's it for courses. And that's the 19th. And then that's also when we start with the boot camp courses, we're starting our group live Q&A sessions. 6 weeks of those. We've done it before. It was tons of fun on Zoom with all the parents asking questions. So, and my daughter will be with me this time, helping me out, because she was working. She had another job before, and now she's working with me full time. So she's got a little more time now, obviously. So she's going to be feeding me the questions. Last time I kept losing track of, because people flip and change in those boxes. I couldn't keep track of who was where and what was this. I'm a bit dopey sometimes, but she'll be helping me out with that. And then all those Zoom sessions, the live Q&As, they will be going into the course. So if you can't make it, then you can see that live with other parents. And, the great thing about that is you'll see all these other parents. They're completely normal people just like you, and they're all struggling with the same stuff. If you're struggling with parenting, look at mom and dad fails, parenting fails, funny parenting fails. You'll feel great about yourself. Everyone else is going through stuff too. What we see on the outside, all these beautiful set up videos and everything, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And I never said any of this stuff is easy. You got to work to get the good stuff. You got to go through the storm to get to the rainbow. Earning respect with your children, you got to work for that. Okay. But once you've got it, maintaining it's a piece of cake. So I got respect when my kids were tiny. So I sailed right through the teen years. You got to adjust for the teen years in that too. But anyway, so getting respect is hard work. I never said this is easy. Parenting's messy. Life is messy, but it's worth it. And it's not about perfection. By the way, you're on that behavior board too. That's what the kids love about it. Because all of a sudden they get to punish their parents too. Their parents are accountable too. Their parents have to be punished if they're bad too, right? You got to be accountable. A leader leads by example, not just by lecturing. Don't know why I'm talking like that. Okay, still here. Would love to hear about your approach to potty training for 2-year-olds. That's a whole course. Now that course is going to be disappearing next week because it's going to be just put in the boot camp course. So you might want to look at it now. It's a potty party. It's a whole system. Okay. I trained my son in 1 day at 2.5, my daughter in 2 days at 2.5 years old. And literally no pull-ups, no night diapers, nothing. And, but I did take a porta potty everywhere we went. There's, how to follow up too. So anyway, so you might want to check that out, but it's a whole system. Every kid's ready at 2.5. If you train them too early, like under 18 months, some people will, and they'll be bragging about it. Oh, I trained them at 18 months. They'll often regress because they're little, not always, but if you train them too soon, they will often regress. And also, if you do really struggle to potty train, even with the course, it's because they really don't respect you, and maybe you tried before and you failed. So yeah, But anyway, generally it works pretty darn good. Also, it's about connecting with your kids. Where's the link for the behavior board? If I buy the toddler courses now, no, they don't disappear. They're evergreen. Anyway, everything's in one link above. It's my website, BratBusters.com. It'll take you everywhere. Well, not everywhere. It won't take you around the world or anything, but it'll take you to everything I have to offer. So the free behavior board, all the courses, the coaching form you have to fill out because there's a wait list for coaching. And then my podcast is also on there and all my other platforms. My biggest platform is TikTok, then Instagram, Facebook, and then YouTube's way down there, numbers wise. But it's picking up now too. But anyway, so everything's on there. Everything I do is on there. My daughter does all that. She does all the behind the scenes stuff. It's funny because I don't look at anything on social media ever. Like I don't know what anyone else is teaching, but other people will tell me stuff. There was someone, I don't know where they were. Facebook gets the nastiest comments. There's a couple people evidently on there that just attack me all the time. They got a vendetta. Kind of creepy when you think about it. But anyway, this one person evidently is telling all these lies about my 2 sons, and one of them's in jail. And they comment on every single video, like talk about, it's sad, right? I feel sorry for them. Like what a life they must have. So anyway, but then all of a sudden we announced our podcast, Mother-Daughter Podcast, not one comment. They comment on every single video because their lie was exposed, right? I don't have 2 sons. I have 1. And and my kids evidently aren't talking to me. And one of my kids is in jail. So, but yeah, it's funny. They commented on every single video except that one. They don't realize we're laughing. I mean, it's funny. But I don't see any of that. I'm just told. I'm very careful. I stay away from all that stuff. It's just, I don't have time for it. I got to focus on my clients and that. My 4.5-year-old, better for older or toddler kids? What do you mean? You mean the boot camp course? If they're 4.5, it's a 3 to 12-year-old course. The toddler one, the toddler one is more like the boot camp course for 3 to 12 years old. It's 5 weeks. It's a system, how to be a leader in 5 weeks. The toddler one is, how do I react when my toddler does this crazy thing? How do I react when my toddler does that crazy thing? Or how do I potty train? It's not a system. It's more reacting to what they do. Like, how do you react when they do this? How do you react when they hit? How do you react when they tantrum? It's more like that. And then it also has the bedtime battles, the when they hit, and the potty training course. And what's the other one? I've got 4 mini courses. All the mini courses are disappearing on the 19th of October. We're getting rid of them all. They're still going to be as a bundle inside the boot camp course. We've just got too many things going on. We just got to streamline stuff. Plus, I was thinking, if you just get one of those courses, like if you just get the tantrum course and you don't have any context around what to do with everything else with toddlers, your success is going to be a lot worse. So my goal is always your success, your parenting leadership. And if you don't have the bigger picture on how to handle toddlers and you're just dealing with one thing at a time, you're not going to get the same level of success that you are with sort of the big picture. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got to do what works the best, and that by far works the best. The older one. Yeah, absolutely. If you've got a 4.5-year-old, it goes from 3 to 12 years old. You never go back. If they're 2 years and 10 months old, I would still buy the 3 and above. But under that, then I would buy the toddler one. But 2.5 is too young for the behavior board. But 2 and 10 months, 11 months, then you can maybe go up to the 3 to 12-year-old one. Okay. Oh, good question. You're going to hate me though. This is Eden Sen. Okay. My 4-year-old keeps being placed on the carpet to calm down when he isn't able to emotionally regulate. Should I speak to his teacher? How can he? No, you'd never tell a teacher how to manage kids. Do not micromanage a teacher at all. Let her do her job. That's teaching. It's different from parenting. Parenting, a huge portion of my clients are teachers, principals, and child psychologists. I couldn't do their jobs and they struggle with parenting. Parenting is personal. Never micromanage a teacher and tell them what to do. No, I would never do that. You know how many classrooms I've sat in? And lots of times I've sat and I'm supporting the teacher by dealing with the difficult kids, right? That's what I did. So I'm mentoring the kids who are, more challenging. So anyway, teachers didn't always do what I agreed with. Like sometimes I'd go, ooh, that was a bit much. and then the teacher would look over at me and I just would always go, I said, if you ever do anything that is a little bit suspect, nothing dangerous, but you know what I mean. And I'd say, I didn't see it. Like, it's none of my business what they do. Oh my God, teaching. I have such respect for teachers. They are pushed to the edge every single day. I don't know how they do it. Oh, so yeah, never tell a teacher how to teach. Don't be one of those parents. You go into school and try and micromanage the school. Do not do that. They will hate you. Trust me. They won't tell you in front of your face, but they will not like you. Let them do their job. As a teacher for 11 plus years, I love you for that. Yeah, teachers are gods as far as I'm concerned. And every time, I remember once this teacher threw something out a window. And actually, I've heard of it once. One of my kids saw that, and another teacher did the same thing with a kid's possession, threw it right out the window. Instantly, the teacher looked over at me. They knew I wasn't going to say anything. And we just got eye contact, and I just went, oops, didn't see a thing. That was great. Oh, I don't know how they do it. And by the way, teachers are leaving right, left, and center because they're expected to do everything. They used to just have to teach academics and keep your kids alive. That was it. Now they have to parent. They have to teach kids about sex, nutrition, behavior. It's your job to send nice kids to school. It's not the teacher's job to fix it, to fix your kids. That's your job, okay? I told my kids' teacher in grade 1, I said, and I knew they wouldn't, but I said, if my kids ever step a toe out of line, never discipline them. You tell me and I'll do it. That's my job. I didn't want the teacher to have to discipline my kids. That's my job. I know what I'm doing. Right? So you can learn how to do this too. That's my job, to send nice kids out into the world. It's not the world's job to fix them. Poor teachers, like as if they haven't got enough to do. Yeah, you've probably left by now. Whoever asked that question, it's just, I've spent thousands of hours in classrooms watching what teachers go through. Don't ask for special treatment for your child. And don't micromanage a teacher. I think you would have been a great teacher as well. That had been your calling. No, it's not my calling at all, because I connect and bond with kids as a mother. I mentor children one-on-one. When it comes to groups, I can do it. Yep, I can do it, but I don't like it. It's different. It's just different. Managing a group of kids, it's different. I like the one-on-one connecting. That's all I'm good at. Like you even see me at a party. I hate parties, by the way. I only have so much superficial small talk in me. It bores me to tears. But if you see me at a party, I will be the one in the corner having an in-depth conversation with someone. It has to be something meaningful. I don't have any time for all that superficial crap. But you'll see people flit around at a party, the people that are good at it. You'll never see me talking to them. It's the small talkers. I don't have time for that. So, and that's kind of the same with teaching. I like one-on-one connecting with people. It's just my strength. It's what I like. We all have different strengths and weaknesses. I admire the people that can flit around and do small talk all night. I can't do it though. I absolutely hate it. And I'll be 64 in a couple of days. And yeah, I'll never apologize for that. I think when I was younger, I kind of tried and thought I should be more like that. No, nope. It's not me at all. It bores me to tears. Small talk. I can't do it. Oh, I am late. I got to go over to TikTok. Check out the link above. You can get my free behavior board, which now includes, we've just updated it all today. It now has toddler basics on there. So it's the behavior board for 3 and up, plus underneath the age of 3, it has toddler basic information on there now. That's all free. Or you can look at my courses, or you can get on the wait list for coaching if you're interested, or you can check out our new podcast. Anyway, my name is Lisa, and I'm going over to TikTok now if you want to join me over there. And happy parenting. Bye now. Shoot, I'm usually late for Instagram, not TikTok. But it's hard. I get into a conversation with myself, and then I get lost in time. Okay, I'm on TikTok now. There we go. I'm going to have a glass of wine for my birthday this weekend. I drink maybe once every few months. I'll have a glass of wine. And then I get a hangover for 2 days. It's just not worth it. But every so often I'll do it. So I'm going to close the window there. Okay. Okay, you said it's hard to, this is on YouTube. Anna, it is hard. I have a 4 and a 6-year-old. The last couple of months have been hard. I have the boot camp. Okay, so you bought the 3 to 12, and I can't seem to get past the first week. All I can say to myself is I failed them. They are great in school. Oh, don't say that. Okay, turn up to the live Q&A sessions. They're starting on the 19th of October. So next, not this Saturday, but the one after. They're every Saturday morning. Check it out, and we'll talk to you in there. You're not alone in this, okay? A lot of people struggle with stuff, but we'll just get more clarification with those live Q&A sessions. And they're specifically designed for people. They're only for people in the boot camp course. So turn up to that if you can, Anna. If not, you'll see the videos from those Zooms will end up in the course, and you'll see lots of other parents going through the same stuff. You got to get momentum with this stuff. The first week is often really difficult, and then you start to get momentum with it. But yeah, I don't care how the kids act. I only care about you. You lead, they will eventually follow. At first, they often fight back harder because they go, are you kidding me? I've been in charge, and now you think you could be in charge. So yeah, so often that happens. But you just got to be consistent. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully I'll see you in there. I'm going to write down your name. So hopefully you'll turn up. And 4 and 6 first week. Okay, I hope you can turn up. Check that out. It's in the link. It's in the description in YouTube because you're on YouTube. So hopefully you can turn up. Yeah. And anyway, first week hard. Okay. Oh, you got to put the age. I can't answer quite. Are they 16, 6, 2? I need an age. Otherwise, I cannot answer. Okay. Oh, welcome to TikTok. By the way, this is where I really started on social media 2 years ago. I was doing the odd thing on there, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And it was more, I just seem to have local clients because I got my start really on TV and radio and all that locally. And then a lot of referrals from doctors and teachers and that. So, and then I went on TikTok 2 years ago, blew up basically overnight. Changed my life. Now my daughter's working with me full time. But yeah, TikTok, I have a real soft spot for TikTok just because of that. And I was just standing in my bathroom holding my camera, talking in the mirror to myself, holding my camera. And another thing about parenting, and it blew up overnight. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, so I have a real soft spot for TikTok. Okay. This one, I can't really answer it, but I'm going to guess what might be going. I can't answer because I don't know what's going on, but I'll take a guess. My 5-year-old cries when she has this from Tana Davis on YouTube. My 5-year-old cries when she has to go to her tumbling classes. She used to love it, but now won't do any classes. Tried offering other types of classes, but won't join anything now. Okay. She cried. Okay. I don't know what happened. Did something happen there? Like I would ask her, you know what? You can get information out of kids if you role play. So role play tumbling class, pretend you're her and say, you know, what happened? Did anything happen? Pretend I'm you. So yeah, I want to find out what happened. I don't feel that I could really address something like that unless I found out why, because there's so many different reasons it could be. Anyway, I don't think I introduced myself yet. My name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go on the link above, you'll see my free behavior board. We just beefed it up today. It's different. We've also added toddler basics at the bottom of the boot camp of the behavior board. It's completely free. So you can check that out in the link above. And then we have our boot camp courses, which the little courses are still there, but they're going to be disappearing. All the mini toddler courses are going to be going. We just talked about that. We've been talking about that for a while, and we just decided to pull the plug on them. They're all included in the toddler boot camp course. So we're just going to have the 2 boot camp courses. We'll eventually have a teen one, maybe next year. So we've got toddler, child, and then we will eventually have teens. They're my favorite age, by the way, teenagers. So we're just going to have the boot camp courses from now on. It's just getting out of control. Plus, if people just buy a mini toddler course, what I was finding was, because then they'd often hire me for coaching or something after, but they weren't getting the big picture of toddlers. So maybe there's a course on tantrums, so they'll deal with tantrums, but then they don't know what to do with other stuff. So it wasn't as effective as I would have liked. It's great if that's the only thing you're dealing with is a tantrum, but often you're not. Often you're dealing with a bunch of different stuff. So that's why we're getting rid of them. It just wasn't inclusive enough. It just wasn't telling the whole picture with toddlers. So that's what the boot camp course is all about. And also it's not set up like the other boot camp course. The other boot camp course goes for 5 weeks. And it is, 5 weeks on how to be a leader. The toddler one is more just, here's what toddlers are like. Here's how you react if they happen to do this. I mean, it's a little bit more like that. It's a good reference guide, though. Anyway, and our live group Q&A sessions with those boot camp courses will be every Saturday morning for 6 weeks. We'll be doing a live group Q&A session on Zoom. We've done it once before. It was a lot of fun. And but that's only if you're in the boot camp course. And then you'll see each other. You'll all be in your own little squares. And you'll see you're not the only one going through this stuff. Lots of normal people. Everyone thinks, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. No. I would have to say most of my clients are highly successful, very confused why on earth they can run a huge corporation or, do all these amazing things in life, but they can't handle these little people that live with them. So parenting's personal. It's different from anything else. Oh, if something did happen, what do we do to fix it? Well, I'll come up with an example. So they've got a 5-year-old all of a sudden doesn't like tumbling classes. I said, you got to figure out what's happened. Otherwise, you just say, well, you got to turn up anyway. We'll be right there. So make sure you're sort of in the background. You're nearby. Maybe that's it. So you got to go anyway. Okay. And let her cry. You're driving her there. Drop her off. That's okay. And let her cry it through. She's just got to learn. She's got to go anyway. But yeah, if you can't figure out what's going on, but if someone was mean to her, just say role play and say, well, I didn't like that or whatever. So role play, and talk her through it. If she sort of feels like you're in on it too, you understand, it'll make it easier for her. And then talk about how you went through something when you were little. I remember when someone was mean to me, but you got to keep going to school. You got to keep going to classes. This is just part of life. You don't try and make life easy for kids. You want to make their home life wonderful. But when they go out in the world, you got to teach them fortitude, strength. You don't want to raise self-entitled snowflakes with mental health issues. All this victim stuff these days. This is very politically incorrect of me, but I actually saw someone crying because someone got their what do they call it? Pronoun wrong. They said they just had been told the person's pronoun and the person made a mistake and said it wrong. And the person ran away crying, an adult. Now, Wow. They might have had mental health issues, like serious mental health issues. But I thought, wow, is that what we're raising? Is that what happened? Like, wow. Talk about no fortitude. How are they going to survive in this world? So yeah, you want to raise kids who know that, there's hard stuff out there. You got to learn how to deal with it. Yeah. Okay. I got to go on a bit of a tangent here. About 40 years ago, I saw this pleaser parent style coming in. You want to make everything easy. You go in, you micromanage the teachers, tell them how to treat your precious little angels. You don't ever say the word no, heaven forbid. But then those parents are most likely to yell too. They're the yellers because that crap doesn't work. So they end up yelling. Then, oh yes, I love my children. I don't want them to ever feel bad about themselves or anything. But then those are the parents who yell. It's interesting. I first saw it coming about 40 years ago, and it came in with participation awards. When I first heard about participation awards, I thought, are you freaking kidding me? A kid just turns up and they get an award. Anyway, I used to have a column in the newspaper here in Vancouver in the province. I used to be like the Dear Abby or Ann Landers for parents. Anyway, so they send in their questions. And what had happened was someone said, did you see this article there was someone in California was suing the school for not giving their child a sports day participation award. They were and they won. They sued the school. It's evidently, I don't know. I didn't look into it, but this is what they said. They sued the school because their child didn't get a participation award. By the way, that child never even went to sports day. They still wanted them to get a participation. What kind of a adult do you think that child's going to turn into? Think about it. What are you raising that child to be like? Entitled, victim, weak, no fortitude. Yeah. I remember my daughter didn't want to go to dance. She was a Velcro kid. She just wanted to be with mom all the time. So I enrolled her in dance. She's 3 years old. And I was always trying to make her stronger because she just wanted to be with me all the time. She never cried or anything. She was the easiest kid, but she was a mummy's girl. So anyway, I enrolled her in this dance. I can still remember the dance school. So she hated it. She just wanted to be with me. She just was standing there dancing and like this. But whenever she'd get eye contact with me, this is what she saw. Like, in other words, suck it up, princess. There's no way I would show any pity. I did kind of feel sorry for her, but there's no way I'd show it. And then she'd look away quickly, and then she'd just end up joining, and then she was fine. But yeah, she'd look over at that. All she ever saw was this. Like, in other words, suck it up, princess. You'll survive. So yeah, I wanted my kids to be strong, and they are. They're both very strong. They're all grown up now. I'm a grandmother now. Yeah, you're not doing your kids any favor by trying to make everything easy for them. It's a disaster, an absolute disaster. That's the pleaser parent style. And those parents are the most likely ones to yell. They're the yellers. Okay. Oh, I'm going to comment on this. I'm so glad you brought this up. This is Virginia Martin on YouTube. Jordan Peterson said, don't allow your child to do things that make you dislike them. Oh, I never critique parenting experts. Has he written a book on parenting or anything? I don't know. Oh, God, no, I can't say it. Oh, shoot, because I never critique. Okay. In other words, it's all about you. You know what I mean? Like, it's so narcissistic, that statement. Don't let your kids do anything that makes you dislike them. Well, my love and my like is unconditional, for one thing, and it's not about me. So what if they do something I don't like? Unless it's dangerous, so what? But it's not about me. Yeah, I remember when I read that statement. I don't know anything about him. I do follow him sometimes for general stuff, but I never look at anyone for parenting. But you get where I'm coming with that? I thought, wow, that was interesting. Okay. Do you recommend parenting books? I've never read one, so I don't know. And I've never written one. I've never read a book on kids or parenting. Everything I've learned, kids taught me all this. I've worked with hundreds of kids, teenagers. They taught me all this. And they're the ones who said, Lisa, you got to teach this stuff. No one's ever talked to us like you do. So they're the ones who told me to start this. Oh, that's enough about Jordan Peterson. It was just that statement. I wouldn't teach that, put it that way. I don't agree with that. So I wouldn't teach it. And I don't think he's a parenting coach, so I'm not really, critiquing. You know what I'm saying? So it's not quite as bad. But when I heard that, I thought, wow. Yeah, I wouldn't teach that. I didn't know you were a grandma. Yeah, I'm a grandma. Love being a grandma. And I'll never post. I don't post anything online now because I've got a big following. I got some creepy people following me too. We get some weird stuff. So I don't post anything on social media anymore. But I would love to. I would love to post her on social media, but I don't. She's darling. I was pushing her in the stroller a while back, and we're just walking around, giving the mom a break. I'm lucky my daughter-in-law, she's just such a great mom. She's just a natural. So I was giving her a break. So I took the little granddaughter out for a couple hours, just pushing around the neighborhood in a stroller. And I could see, how that plastic thing, you could see through the thing. And I was watching her, and her little chubby 9-month-old hands were reaching out for the thing in front of her. I just lost it. I don't know what it was about that. Even thinking about it, I just lost it. Like, just how precious, like how lucky I am. I'm 63. I've got a granddaughter. And I just thought, wow, talk about life going full circle. But they're just this little chubby hands reaching out for that thing. And I was just like, oh, it just got me. I was walking down the street, bawling my eyes out. So embarrassing. But I just lost it. That was the first time I'm getting all teary now. That was the first time I really just lost it as a grandmother. Sure, there'll be lots of other times. Oh, someone said, love Jordan. Yeah, I like Jordan Peterson too. It was just that one little blurb because I'm a parenting coach. So that's the only reason that I mentioned that. But yeah, I like him too. God, he's freaking smart. Very smart. But I do find it a little bit depressing. If I want to be cheered up, I don't watch him. But yeah, very, very smart man. Okay. Can you offer insights in the 9 to 10 range? Hard not to tell what normal for the age. Okay. 9 to 10, they're starting to exercise. They're starting to spread their wings a little bit. Okay. So you want to start backing off, and you want to start understanding that they're going to allow them to make more mistakes. You're not correcting them as much as when you're younger, like when they're younger. But as they're getting older, say, yeah, and kind of let them kind of make more mistakes as they get a little bit older. You want them to start stretching their wings. And then what you do is when they mess up, you say, okay, so how did that go? That didn't go so well. Like if they tried something that didn't work, say, I remember when I tried something like that didn't go well. It's all part of life, kiddo. So I like my kids to I didn't want to be micromanaging my kids all the time. And especially as they get older, you want them to start thinking for themselves and going out and trying different things, and then be right there to say, yeah, it didn't work out, but good for you for trying. So more of that. And also you want to start saying to them, look, I want a new rule for you to be, your dirty clothes go in the hamper from now on. Then you say, what do you want from me? So you got to do more of that. Ask more advice from them on how you should parent them. Say, what do you think's fair here? And usually when you come at them with that level of respect, they come back really respectful. It's amazing. Give respect to get it. And also understand that they're going to start pulling away from you more. You're heading into you're in the tween years. 9 to 12 is a tween or a preteen. 13 and up, obviously, is a teenager. They're going to start pulling away from you more. And they might like things that you don't like. That's okay. That's okay. Don't go with the mindset, my way or the highway. Yeah. I don't want to go on about that too much, but the reason is that a lot of parents really struggle with how parenting shifts and changes in the teen years. You're heading into that phase. And that's when you've got to back off a little bit and ask their advice more about how their life is going. Pull them in more on it. Give them more control over their own lives. And when you treat children like this, they don't rebel. My son was 15. He could have rebelled in a different home. He had it in him. He even said to me, well, I couldn't even rebel with you because you're too reasonable and easy to talk to. And I didn't know whether to apologize or celebrate. I think I apologized to his face, and then I celebrated when I left the room. But yeah, so you can't rebel against a leader. There's nothing to rebel against. I was too reasonable and easy to talk to. So you give them a say in how their life is going. If you don't, you're just a dictator. Have you dealt with behavior problems for a child with cancer? Oh, yes. Lots of sick children, lots of children with disabilities. Yes, I have. That would be coaching. Okay. It's a little bit different. The problem is with children is pity. Pity will get in the way. If you feel sorry for them, which is completely natural. Okay. But if you feel sorry for them, it's going to get in the way of what they need from you. And they do often need a very different approach. So yeah, that would be coaching if you're interested. I can't talk about that here. I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what you're going through. Yeah, but lots of kids, it's the pity. I would say the pity is what gets in the way. And yeah. Another thing too to remember is if you've got one sick kid, the other kids suffer too. Even though they know that the sick child or the disabled child needs more attention, it still damages them. It still hurts them. So we have to work around that. I know it's really tricky because you've got one child who requires a lot of your attention, a lot of your care. And then you've got other kids who even say, I understand they do need, I understand, they understand, but it still affects them. It's still traumatizing for them, for the other kids. Even though they get it, they understand. They understand that that child needs more of you than they do, but it still upsets them. They won't always tell you that, but I'm telling you that. And they'll often deny it too, because they're embarrassed to. Okay, when does the three-nature stage go away? I don't know who came up with that, but I find at 3, they get super easy if you're a leader. If you're not, they get worse. 3 years old, when they turn 3 is a turning point. That's when they stop and think. That's when they have the ability, the frontal lobe is kind of developing. I always think of it like that punching bag is like in the back of your throat. I know it's not because I've looked it up, but that frontal lobe is all the impulse control. It gives them the ability to stop and think before they act. That's 3. That kind of really starts to kick in around 3. So what the heck was my question? Oh yeah. So at 3, it's almost like they stop and think, wait a minute, you're not a leader. I think I will be. Or they stop and think, you know what you're doing. I'm not going to fight you. So you see, that's a turning point. It's a fork in the road. So if you're a leader, they get easy. If you're not, they get worse. They get more power. They understand they've got power. So yeah, work on yourself. It's all about you. Check out my bootcamp course for 3 to 12 years old. It teaches you how to be a leader in 5 weeks. The big live Q&A sessions are coming up this next week. They're just 6 weeks of them. So if you're in the bootcamp courses, either one, just look it up above on the link. How to enjoy play with your kid. I'm going to tell you a really cute story. One of my clients was so cute. And I do change a few facts, even though they usually say, yeah, you can do it, because I never tell names, obviously. But I do change a few facts around. So anyway, this child was, I can't remember how old, and I can't remember, I think it was about 6 or 7. And anyway, the mother had never played with this child. They didn't have a very good relationship. The mother had never played. She said, I just don't enjoy playing with kids. And I said, okay, well, what's his favorite thing? And she goes, he loves Lego. And I said, well, have you ever played Lego with him? She goes, no, I hate it. And I said, okay, so if you yell, your consequence is you have to play Lego for 30 minutes. So and I always say, you make sure that you break the rule on the behavior board yourself. So you show them how this is done so that you have to do a consequence. They're more likely to do the consequence if they see you do them, right? So anyway, I said, okay, now make sure you yell. If you feel a yell coming on, because she was a yeller, most parents are. She was a yeller. Most parents who aren't leaders are yellers. So the second week she turns up and she goes, you're going to be so proud of me. I didn't yell once. So in other words, she didn't play with him. She never played Lego with him. And I said, now you know that you did that wrong because I told you to yell so that you would have to play Lego. And she goes, oh, I forgot. And I said, no, you didn't. You just didn't want to play Lego. So I says it like it is. So anyway, I said, this week, your job is this week, you make sure you yell. And she goes, but what if he doesn't notice? And I said, well, then you say it. You said, look, I yelled. Let's go to the behavior board. My consequence is I have to play with you with Lego for 30 minutes. Okay, you got that? And she said, okay, I'll do it. So anyway, the next week she turns up. She's got a big smile on her face. And I said, what? And she goes, I didn't play Lego for 30 minutes. And I said, what? And she goes, I played for 3 hours. She'd never played with her child before. And I said, you have to sit on the floor and do it. Don't sit on the dining room table. Sit on the floor and do it, because that's where he sits and plays. You play in their world. She sat on the floor to play Lego with him because she'd yelled. He sat in her lap, and for 3 hours they played, and he kept rubbing his head on her chin underneath. She said, that's the day I fell in love with my son. She always loved him anyway, but you know what I mean. It changed everything. So yeah, play is their love language. Isn't that sweet? So yeah, you play in their world and you mimic what they're doing and then just see how they react. Your relationship will get better. So play will start to be fun. What to do with a teen who gives one-word answers to everything? I'm exhausted. So they're not talking to you. Okay, I'm going to read out my top 4 tips for parenting teenagers, and maybe there'll be a little tip in there. The first one is the one I'm thinking of, okay? This is my top 4 tips for parenting teenagers. Number 1, listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with, or they will shut you out. If they want your advice, they'll ask for it. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe you don't listen to understand, show empathy. Maybe you lecture. Yeah, they don't want that. Number 2, negotiate as much as possible. Say, hey, I want your dirty clothes in the hamper from now on. What do you want from me? Like reciprocity. You're building respect, right? I respect you, so you respect me. When you come at them like this, they usually get really respectful answers too. After a while, maybe not at first. The third one is don't sweat the small stuff with teenagers. If they do something stupid, just say, well, that was stupid. Do you want to hear what I did when I was your age? And laugh it off. In other words, it's okay to do stupid things. We all do it. And also, you may even say, well, look what I did yesterday. Look, so we're not going for perfection in human beings here. It's ridiculous. Most parents expect more from their kids than they do from themselves. So I certainly didn't. I was very, not at all. I was very honest with my kids. So yeah, imperfection is what it makes you vulnerable, and it also is what connects you with people. So, and also number 4 with teenagers, don't leverage the good times to discuss the bad times. If he does open up and start talking to you, don't talk about, oh, I'm so glad you're talking to me because you weren't before. So you're leveraging the good time to talk. He'll shut you out. I always tell this to parents when I'm working with parents with teenagers. I say, now, I'm going to teach you how to connect with your teenager. Don't take those opportunities to discuss how much they've disappointed you the last 2 years. Sure enough, every so often someone will. And they'll say it like this. It's very passive aggressive. They'll say it like this. Oh, I'm so glad we're having fun because we haven't had much of this lately. Disaster. And then you can't figure out why they told you to F off and they left the room. You can't figure that out. They're just, yeah, I warn them. I tell them not to. They just can't help themselves. They have to do it. So then we have to apologize and make amends and make up for it and all that stuff. Give respect, give respect, give respect. So that's my top 4 tips for teenagers. I hope some of that helped. I'm wondering if you lecture too much. That's why he's just shutting down with you. He's shutting down. I don't have time to tell the story. I was going to tell a good story about how to connect with a teenage boy, but I don't have time right now. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Check out the link above. We've made a lot of changes lately. My daughter and I are going through a lot with the business. We came out with the podcast, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. And then we've got the big group live sessions coming up with the boot camp courses. That starts on the 19th. If you join the link above, sign up for the newsletter. You get the free behavior board, which we've also changed. That one has toddler basics on it now too. So it's not just for 3 and over. It also has some stuff for parents of toddlers on there now. So that's all free. And then the courses, the boot camp courses are there. That's the toddler one and the 3 to 12-year-old one, coaching information, the podcast information, and then the new Q&A live sessions that are coming up with the boot camp courses, both of them, 2 separate live Q&As. And that's really fun because you see all the other parents on Zoom, all their little boxes, and they're all asking questions, a lot of the same questions you've got. So you'll see you're not alone. You're not alone with this stuff. Parenting's a lot of work. If you've never done it before, most people are just raising one family, right? I've raised thousands of them because I've been working with parents for years. And also I was working with kids for decades before I had my own. So yeah, I had a lot of it. It takes experience to really get this. Or someone who has a lot of experience. Also, I always tell people, never take parenting advice from someone who doesn't have these 2 qualifications. They have to have finished the job with their own kids. So are they grown and are they functioning? And number 2 is they have to have worked with hundreds of other kids. I didn't learn much with my own kids. I got respect when they were tiny and sailed right through the teen years. It's all the other hundreds of kids I worked with that I learned all this with. All the challenges, all the stuff I worked with. So anyway, check out everything above. And if you're signed up for the newsletter, you'll get all the information that way anyway. Anyway, thanks so much for watching me, or for joining in the live, just watching me. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. And I'll be back again next Tuesday for sure. We're so busy right now. And it's my birthday weekend coming up. So I'll be pretty busy with that. So I'll be 64 years old. Wow. Wow. I love being in my 60s. Didn't like my 50s as much. I like my 60s. Anyway, so yeah, I get pretty busy. I don't know when I'll be able to do another live. Might not be till next Tuesday. Happy parenting. Bye now.